This project started with cutting a whole bunch of wooden strips, which will form a wooden frame for the cockpit. As you probably guessed from the title of this video, I'm making the replica of ATST Walker that will be displayed at the entrance of the convention called the Geek Con. These strips serve as a basic skeleton of the cockpit, helping me to get the right angles and keep everything symmetrical. To ensure consistent angles, I'm using the half-lap joints in combination with a bit of wood glue. It's surprisingly very sturdy joint. The screws are just there to hold everything in place while the glue dries. Once the skeleton was ready, I began attaching 3mm MDF panels to it. Unfortunately, the panels were not that large, so I have to glue two pieces together to make the side panels. Using the hand router, I trim off the excess MDF so it will sit flush with the frame. Roughly mark where the openings would go on the front panel. One important thing that I have to have in mind was how I'm going to transport all that stuff to the venue. Because of that, the side panels are attached with screws only, no glue, so they could be easily removed. Next challenge, connecting the cockpit to the body of the walker. For that, I used thick piece of wood with another half-lap joint and drove a whole bunch of screws into it. Hopefully that will hold. In the spirit of recycling, I made the body from old OSB board that used to be the tabletop of my workbench. It had a lot of dents and damage from epoxy resin spills, but honestly, that kind of worn out look added a nice battle damage feel right to the gate. Time for legs. I started with the section closest to the body. The ATST Walker has such a unique look because the legs are looking like they are floating around the body. For the legs, I used the same method as I did for the cockpit. Placed two pieces of wood at the right angle, marked them and cut the half left joint. Next up, feet. I made them from thick heavy piece of laminate board. The idea was to keep the heaviest part very low to bring the center of mass closest to the ground. I used paper templates to make sure both feet were same size and the shape. With all the parts ready, it was time to test assembly. Since my workshop is not that big, I had to put it together outside. For the first attempt at standing the walker on its feet, my girlfriend and cameraman jumped into my help. But in the end, the walker was very heavy and wobbly, so we chickened out and laid it back down. After a lot of thinking and facing our fears, we gave it another shot. The first time seeing it, that robot in fully upright position was just wow. Now when structure is solid, it's time for a fun part. Prop making and making this structure look like an ATST walker. First step was cutting out the opening on the cockpit face to fit a box that will hold the blaster mounts.
Carlo!
Okay. The blaster mounts were made from the styrofoam, cutting using my homemade hot wire.
Ne znaš kaj lampaš? Ono što...
The blasters themselves were made from PVC pipes detailed with EVA foam. Three mm EVA foam is go-to material in prop making and cosplay for adding the details. Most of the details were also made with EVA foam and styrofoam. But sometimes you get lucky. Like here, when I found an old misprinted gun that turned out to be a perfect match for this project.
Nek malo ovako viri.
The details bring out the life in any prop, and it's my favorite part of this project. Unfortunately, due to time constraints, I had to move on to the legs, which were still just a frame. I covered the legs in 3mm MDF, attached with mix of hot glue, wood glue, nail screws and expanding foam. We painted the whole thing in gray, then brought out the depth and wear with the black paint and airbrush highlights. On the day of final assembly, I was super excited and honestly nervous, because I had never seen the robot fully put together. Luckily, I invited a bunch of friends to help and everything went pretty smoothly. I'm really proud of how it turned out. At the convention, it became a popular photo spot, especially with the kids taking pictures with their parents. Huge thanks to Geek Con for giving me the opportunity to create something this cool. And thank you for watching. I hope I've earned that you click a like and subscribe button in the bottom of this video, and see you on the next one.